Hey, whoever's watching. So I don't know how to introduce myself, but yeah, I like composing. It's about it. Um, Let me give you a little background before I start like showing you what I make. Um, I'm 16 and I've been composing since I was like maybe 8. So my dad got a piano and so I like playing piano. That's something I really like doing. I practice each day, and it's something that is it's just something I like doing, and it helps with me composing. And I started playing piano when I was like 7, which was just banging random notes. I didn't have a teacher. I just taught myself. I didn't know what the notes were called until like maybe maybe when I was 13. Before that, I was just able to play notes and put them together right. And now I know what they're called because, yeah. Okay, but I didn't start composing with like paper until maybe my sophomore year, which was last year. I used MuseScore this whole time. So there's dogs. Yeah, so I've been composing for a while. But my original compositions I didn't write down. They were just like audio recordings because I had a synthesizer too that I would, play around with every now and then, make a little song on there. And then in 8th grade, I started band. I was 13 and it was fun. It was very fun. And there are a lot of things that I gathered from that have helped with me composing. I started off in percussion, so I was playing a glockenspiel. I had to carry that thing. I had to carry that thing, and I hated it. And now looking back at that, I realized, you know, how much I had. I didn't realize how ungrateful I was. I'm not trying to say it's, you know, a big deal or whatever. It's kind of normal 13-year-old kid behavior. But now looking back, I'm grateful for that, that I was able to start off with that. And I also learned a lot on how to read music as well. I definitely have learned a lot, and it's amazing. My teacher taught me like three little things, which were like the quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, eighth notes, that stuff. He taught us time signatures, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, and he taught us key signatures. He taught us C, B flat, and E flat. And from that, now I'm able to do some pretty okay things. And nobody has heard my music really. Well, I'm not really a somebody people know about. It's like people know me, but they don't know I make music really. Not a lot of people know I make music, but I don't know. I don't want it to. That's not my main goal. I'd like it, but it's not my main goal with my music. My main goal is, it makes me happy, and that's the reason why I make songs. And it wasn't until my sophomore year that people started figuring out, that I make music, because I didn't tell people. I didn't really tell anybody. It wasn't that I was embarrassed. It was that, you know, I just didn't feel like I wanted people to know. Because, I just didn't feel like it's something, that everybody needs to know about, if that makes sense. So I told some friends because I'm still doing band now. I just don't play percussion anymore. Now I play tenor sax. I played alto for my 10th grade. They had me do tenor because there were too many altos. But um, there was this one of my friends. I'm not gonna say their name because digital footprints. But yeah, I showed one of my friends a piece that I was working on at the time. I finished it. I'm not working on it anymore. I might make little edits, but it's finished. It's called Mellow Blue Sky. It's a complex idea that makes no sense because I'm completely insane. I'm an insane individual. Oh shoot, hold on. Um, yeah, but this song, I think it took me about a year. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm emotional or something. I don't know. That's how I talk. Cause like I just realized it sounds like I sound shaky or something. If that makes sense, but I'm not. I'm doing fine. But uh, what I did realize about my compositions is I realized something. There's guidelines, but that doesn't mean that you need to pay a lot of attention to them. For example, what I did, this is a concert band piece, which means there's flute slash oboe, then bassoon, clarinets, bass clarinet, alto saxes and tenor saxes and baritone sax. Then there's French horn or horn and F, whichever you choose. There's the two sections for trumpets. There's a trombone, euphonium tuba. Then we got percussion. But what I did is I added bass trombone, and I added contrabassoon. The thing is I like the sound of the contrabassoon. I like the low notes, like for example right here. Hold on. Oh shoot, it's not playing. Oh, um, yeah, like that down there. So I like hearing that. So I always put it in there. So I showed this song to one of my friends for my sophomore year. This was while I was like still making parts to it. So this is what it sounds like. Yeah, there's a lot more to it, but yeah, that's the part that I showed them. They stopped me and they told me, Avi, this is amazing. I was like, oh, okay, okay, all right, I see you. Yeah, I did forget to mention my name. My name's Avi. I just go by Avi. So yeah, yeah, that's what it is. But I also realized so about the boundaries. I know what's possible for musicians, but I didn't always. In fact, I always thought the stuff I was making was easy. If you go back to, because I started using MuseScore in 8th grade, so I was 13. When I started using MuseScore, I just, I didn't know what the limits were. I saw the red notes, like for MuseScore, like for example, um, the red notes mean they're impossible to play, but if they're like orangish, yellowish, like dark yellow, it means, it's harder to play, but it's not necessarily out of the limits, basically. And I didn't realize that. Like, I knew it, I just didn't seem to care. But now, because, I use my friends in band as a way to just hold on. This is this hard? Does this make sense? Is this your ideal part? I always ask if it's their ideal part so I can make it their not ideal part, unless it's like a bass instrument like tuba or bass trombone. I'll usually use ideal parts. But generically, me being me, I don't. Like how trumpets usually get melody, I like to give them a little fanfare thing like this. This is what I usually like doing. Oh no, it gives off a sense. I don't know how to explain it. I do it all the time. It's kind of part of my palette, but I also give certain instruments solos that usually don't. And you know how when people explain an instrument, they're always like, it's a great solo instrument. It's a perfect solo instrument." Usually they're right, and I use that. I take it to my advantage, and usually instruments that usually would get melody, like trumpets, trombones. Not always. Sometimes it depends. Well, we're talking about concert band compositions. It would be different if it was like, more of a pop or jazz, if that makes sense. Saxophones usually get melody as well. Tenors, not that much. Alto sax, definitely. Clarinets, definitely. Me being me, how about no? So, what I did for this section at least, I should do another video where I explain Mellow Blue Sky, but for now, I'm just going to give you a little insight. What I did is, if you look at the percussion part right here, the snare drum specifically, oh, hold on, let me mute the bass drum for a bit. Oh, that's not working. Okay, I see. Oh, I see. I made a mistake and I fixed it. There's an emphasis. And the emphasis is on the second note, then the third, then the second. Okay, no, not second, my bad. It's on the two last notes right here, and then the third. It's kind of like syncopation. I think that is syncopation. So I did the same thing with the flutes, because I like doing that. And then for the second section, we have this. It sounds weird by itself, but when you add the first alto saxes and you add euphonium, oh shoot, and you add the trumpets, add the vibraphones too, might as well. Basically, it's like a polyrhythm, but not exactly. It's sort of a polyrhythm because well, I don't know. Well, not exactly a polyrhythm. I'm not really too fond on that subject, but I feel like it is because we have this, and this against each other. Actually, I think we need glockenspiel so we can hear the melody over here, because this is before the clarinet section. Well, basically, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that should give you a little insight on, what I do, but yeah. Um, so I'm probably gonna be making super long, like 20-minute commentaries while I make music, because a lot of people have suggested that I do it. So I'll give you a little insight on my current project that I'm working on as we speak, but I'm being really lazy about it because I'm really lazy. Oh no, it's not segment 21. Yeah, so I have this little folder of segments up to 22, no, 23. It's basically songs that don't have a name or songs that I haven't finished, essentially. So segment 22 is a song about summer, I think. Oh no, hold on. Oh no, that is autumn, but I'm not gonna work on that yet. I just thought I corrupted a file, but I didn't. Okay. Segment 18. It's called The Season of Summer. Yeah, Alta Feathers, my MuseScore page, by the way. I'll just put it there. So, The Season of Summer is a piece that I started working on, I think in April. Because my friend who is a trombone player, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to say names because digital footprint. He's a trombone player. And he was telling me how, generic trombone parts are like, because he has the usually has the lower bass parts of the trombone parts, and he was telling me how basic they are. And me being me, I was like, I wanted to make a melody for that, but at the same time the bass line. But I like to make fun parts, but sometimes I go insane and I don't make fun parts. But usually I do. But the point being, I showed him Mellow Blue Sky, and he was telling me how generic the trombone part is, because it's the generic trombone part. It has bass line, it has melody, it has harmony, usually harmony and bass line mostly, and because of that, it inspired me to write a piece for on piano for a funner, a much more fun bass line, and I decided I wanted to give trombone a solo melody for the beginning, for the opener, and it just made me think about summer, because it's fun. It's a fun piece, if that makes sense. It made me think about summer, and because of that, I decided I would put it on hold until summer, and then when summer came, I started working on it. And well, no, like once school got out, that's when I started, because that was when summer break started. So it's basically a piece that I'm going to take the rest of summer to work on. I'm not saying that I'm not going to have other projects. I'm definitely going to, but the season of summer is definitely going to be my big project. It's already pretty okay. So the season of summer's made of four parts. It was gonna be five, but now it's four. The first part is the first day. It's like the first day. This specific section. Hold on, let me delete this. We don't need that. The first section is called Rising Sun. It basically just exemplifies, you know, the first sunrise. Here's how it sounds like. And that's where I'm putting the 6/8 march into. But to explain a couple of things, for example, this section right here. Hold on. This is supposed. Okay, this means summer's cool, but summer's also hot. There was going to be a fourth movement called Heat Wave, but I decided I could just implement it into summer. The second movement, which is, and I'd say it was pretty okay. There's a 5/4 section here, and then there's a 6/8 section right here. There's a very noticeable shift in the mood too. If you listen, it turns from thinking about the heat, because that's what this part is about. The 5/4 section is primarily about the thought of, oh, but it's gonna be hot though. And then this particular 6/8 section is part of the idea that although it's hot, it's still nice, and that nature, nature's just doing nature's thing, and it's beautiful. I also did this funny. Uh, you see, it's not as hard as it may look. Trust me, I promise you that. Not as hard as it looks. But continuing, there's movement three. Movement three is basically a chorale I haven't finished. It's so this specific movement is called Inner Mind, and part three or movement three is about nostalgia, or at least mine. It probably isn't anybody else because nostalgia is different for everybody. But this particular uh, movement, sometimes I like to think of the brain as, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I like to think of it as the thing that gives me creativity. Even though it sounds kind of, I don't know. I didn't want to get made fun of for saying that, so I didn't. But yeah, I feel like it's the little guy giving me the creativity, and my inner mind. It's it's like the place I'm trying to get to. You know, music is the way I connect with memories and my inner mind. It's like a pistachio, like one of those that aren't like already opened. You have to open it up to get what's inside, and once you get the inside, pistachios are good, bro. Pistachios are amazing, and once you open it, you get the good pistachio inside, the yumminess. But you have to open it first. For inner mind, it's like that. I'm trying to get to my memories that are most likely long distant, far away, and that I'm trying to reconnect with myself with music, which is why a lot of my music has really weird titles. You'll see later. Hold on, I just realized my mic was off when I was trying to tell you that this was gonna be a recurring melody, this thing, and this was the chorale. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Okay, so the chorale was kind of a suggestion. Like my friend was like, "Bro, we love chorales. What if you made a chorale?" I was like, "You know what? I should. Let me make a chorale." So I did, and I listened to a couple chorales, played a couple in class, and I was like, here's some inspirations for me to make my own right here. So why don't I? But then you hear a very dramatic shift in the behavior. The French horn solo, yes, I'm talking about it. I use some very interesting chords, but I'll tell you that I use these chords almost daily. It's nothing new. And I use a lot of suspended two chords, like suspended second, my bad. Yeah. So the chorale, this note right here, is pretty nice. It's so satisfying, isn't it? It's beautiful. But then I shift everything. And this French horn thing, this signifies the change. It signifies two things: that you have strength in your ability and what you're trying to do. The chorale is basically me trying to figure out how to do something. And the second part, which is the French horn part, showing how I have strength in what I'm able to do. But it's also showing the coming of get out of your head, bro, if that makes sense. It's like, you're inside of your inner mind thinking all this stuff, like, it's inner mind, right? It's telling you how much strength you have, but at the same time, it's helping you focus on summer again, that it's also summer. It's calm. Right now it's calm, at least. It You can hear it through here. Yep, I love it. And this here is gonna be reoccurring in not only this song but a lot of other songs as well. The trumpets are basically just copying them with a little scale thing, but the chimes, they signify, the coming of summer, right? And then this part isn't going to make as much sense, but this is part three of part three. It's called Hyperion. Hyperion is a song I wrote 3 years ago, and I messed it up really badly, so I just never finished it. So I decided, it's been 3 years, I'm gonna fix it now. Because I thought, what if I had enough knowledge to fix it? And I did, and I fixed it, and I'm proud of myself for that. Because at first, I just had no confidence in finishing it, and now I do. I don't know, I hope that's inspirational. But Hyperion is basically it's showing how I used to compose. I used to compose with literally just layering. The same melody, it would usually start off with the sax section. The same melody, alto sax melody, tenor sax, probably the same note over and over, bari sax, a bass line. Then I'd add instruments, then take a pause, and then change the song with the new melody thing. That's what I would usually do. But Hyperion was something special because it was based off of a song called Hyperioshire that I made when I was 8. Sounded really bad, but I kind of liked it. And yeah. So, Hyperion is supposed to show how I used to compose. And then, okay. Haming Dahlia, or also called Argar, because, yeah, childhood. This is a fourth part. This is another way that I used to compose, except this beginning. The beginning, which is in 2/4, is basically just supposed to show how I compose now in uh, in comparison to how I used to. And then this part right here, because I used to use a beatbox as a way to compose my music. I don't anymore because I still have all the songs. I just don't use it anymore because, I probably would. It's not that I don't like it or that I've found better. It's a good software to use online, free and everything. Perfect. Uh, but yeah, it's basically a little play on an older song I made like maybe 5 years ago. But here's the intro. Yes. I did a key change. I compose a lot with the key of F sharp and C sharp or G flat and D flat all the time. Those are my favorite keys to compose in. And yeah, here's Argar as or Argar. I don't know. I don't like saying Argar. It sounds so white. Okay, that was really racist, but it just sounds so just yeah, it does sound really white if that makes sense. It just sounds like a really white way to say it, you know? But yeah, here's Argar. Yeah. Also, I apologize for that joke I made just now. I sincerely apologize. I should have said normie or something. But yeah, here's part 5 to Nostalgia. Nostalgia is a very long section. This part is called Canopsia. And not a lot of you may know what Canopsia is, so I'm going to explain it. So, Canopsia is the idea of. Hold on, my brain just stopped working. Okay. Canopsia is like if you see something and if you remove specific values from it. In Canopsia, usually it's like people. So, of course, you've probably seen strangely familiar images before. Most people have seen at least like one of those videos. They're pretty entertaining, actually. I kind of like them. They're pretty fun to watch, you know. And Canopsia is the biggest idea that plays in that because, there's no people there. That's why it's strangely familiar because now that there's no people, it's pushed down to its most traditional value, if that makes sense. Like a supermarket or a store. Now that there's no people, it just looks like every other store because it has no people. And it reminds you of stores you've been to because you can just easily be like, that looks like somewhere I've been. And especially because the store most likely has its lights dimmed. The reason being because these pictures are taken at the oddest times when people aren't there. And, I don't know. I like Canopsia a lot. So this is based off of that and how Summer portrays that. I don't know if that makes sense. Well, basically, I'm gonna explain it because for me, the idea of summer already has a canopsic feel to it. Like, for example, you can just It just reminds you of all the other times, you know. Some people summers are bad, some people summers are good. But the word summer reminds you of every other summer. Because usually you spend your summer the same way as you spend the summer before that. You know, doing what you like doing. Usually. Especially me. And for me, I've taken a lot of pictures in the summer. And they all remind me of each other. Even though I took them like 2 years ago. But yeah, it's basically a trombone tri thing. Trombone trio that's pretty nice. It it belongs in summer more than other seasons. Excuse me, because summer, you know, it's fun. I have a lot of good memories, and they're so distant that Canopsia can be made out of them. I probably should name it Anamoya though, because Anamoya is like nostalgia of somewhere you haven't been before. Because of well, actually, Anopsia and then my bad, I can't speak. Anamoya really mostly needs Canopsia to function. Sometimes, most of the time. So I don't know how well that would play out. So I'm gonna keep it as Canopsia. Here it is. The reoccurring melody, as well as this is basically Hyperion Shire, except I edited it a lot. And you may notice I used the 3 chord thingy a lot right here. So it's basically the 5th, the root, and the 4th. I put them together, and I like that chord a lot. And you may notice it's very all over the place, and I did that on purpose. I don't know. I like to do that sometimes. You know, it makes it feel different. I love that melody so much. Okay, hold on. Okay, I needed to fix that. So this goes into the finale. So I'm not. I'm just going to go right into it. So get ready. Yeah, I did that. And there's a grand ending, which is basically just the reoccurring melody, and then there's the very last bit. I'm still trying to figure out how to attach these three together. And then there's this little disconnected bit that's gonna combine the two last bits. You'll hear the very last bit of the ending once. Okay, but IQ's a tenor sax part. It actually sucks. I'll let you listen to it without it. I'll edit that later. And this is the very last bit of the ending, right here. Sounds very Chinese because I listen to a lot of Chinese folk music. So it'll probably sound kind of Chinese if you listen to it in a way. It'll sound like that a bit. Yep. So this oh, it's 52 minutes. Oh my. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, thank you for watching the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'll make shorter ones, I promise you that. uh yeah. Hope you have a good rest of your day and peace.